This show brought to you by Read the Play, Promoted Trophy and Clothing Company, Kempe International, De Grande Cycle and Sport.
Good morning and welcome to the Geelong Junior Football Show. We're out at Inverleigh today. We've taken in the action from the Under-14 Division 3 game between Inverleigh and the second side from the Geelong Amateurs, and also the netball game, second versus third over on the netball courts, the game between Inverleigh and Bannockburn. We are kicking it off with football today. We've got Bill Dixon from the Geelong Amateurs, second side, their Under-14 side. They've had a pretty heavy loss. Unfortunately, didn't get the numbers up today, and that's probably one of the disappointing things to come out of it for you, Bill, that I guess school holidays and a few other things mean that you probably didn't have the full side on the park today.
No, we've been, our three sides have struggled all week. We've had, I think, about 20 kids out of our 50 had the flu over the last 2 weeks, all been away or some sickness, so we've really scraping the barrel, but I think it's a good time to have the 2 weeks off. The boys can kind of relax over the holidays, and we should be raring to go after the break.
That certainly does make it difficult, and it was pretty tough today coming out here. A fair travel out to Inverleigh, and they really served it up to you. They had a couple of good players, and in the end, the boys just found it pretty tough. Yeah,
no doubt. We only had 14, and we'd made a number of our better players playing up in the first side this week. And we know that the Inverleigh boys are a good unit. They've got lots of good players, Platt, Manganelli, and the big fella in the ruck, real quality young man and good footballers. So we knew we were up against it. But I was really proud of our guys. I think after half-time, they all made a bit of a band. We're going to crack in for the last half of footy for this period, and I was really pleased the way they cracked in.
You've got a couple of weeks off now, obviously, over school holidays. How do you spend that time? Do you keep training and training as a group, or do you give the boys the week off, or the couple of weeks off, and maybe say we'll come back and hit the rest of the season hard after that?
We're going to give them a week and a half off, so we won't train next week at all, and then we'll meet on the Thursday of the following week, and it might be just something pretty light, and then we'll meet up for the week coming into the start or the presumption of the season.
Well, we spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and the obvious aim was on development. Have you been seeing signs that the boys are really starting to put it together as a unit and are starting to play as an 18, obviously only a 14 today?
We've really changed our side a fair bit from last time we spoke. We've made a bit of a precedent about picking our best side in the one side, and that will continue on after the break. But all of our boys, like I think across the board with all the footy clubs, this age group, you see them develop pretty quickly, and a lot of our guys, their skills and their team play is certainly improving. So very pleased with them. So
how are the boys tracking, Bill? Are we looking at finals, or it's still more about development and improving the skills for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I know we won't figure in the finals because I think with us drawn in Division 3, we've certainly found now when we know opposition, we play like Inverleigh, a one-team club, or we play the top group of a club that have maybe one or two sides. So with our boys being predominantly nearly all bottom age, it's a hard level for us to play in. But I think I'm really happy for them to play in because I think we'll learn a lot, and it'll hold us in good stead when we all get back together next year as a top age side.
Fantastic to hear. As you say, there's a challenge ahead of your boys, Bill, but all the rest for the best of the season. We thank you for your time on the Geelong Junior Football Show.
Thanks, Tim. Cheers.
We were joined by Mick, the coach of the victorious Inverleigh side out here today. A very good win for the boys, Mick, and there were some very good signs out there. Not only did you win well, but you put together some really good football at times throughout the game.
Yeah, look, it was pleasing to win, but we haven't won for probably the last month or so. We've been probably on the other side of the ledger, same as amateurs today. They only had 14 players. I think last week we only had 15, and so we were up against it. And this week we had a full side, plus a couple on the bench that I dragged a couple up from the under-12s. And unfortunately I didn't get them a game because we could only put 15 out there. But, it goes in... and the worst thing about it was when I did have a full side today, I was really happy about it that I was going to get my rotations and everything going because I haven't been able to do that. And again, I wasn't able to do that. But look, well done to the amateurs. I know I was on the other side last week. I know how they feel, and it's pretty tough when you've only got 14.
So it hasn't been the easiest season, I take it, for the boys so far. Division 3 about where you're at, or maybe you thought you'd be a Division 4 side at the start of the year?
Look, I really believe the way that the divisions are set up, I think that if you're only a one-team side, it makes it very hard because obviously you've only got 18 or 20 players to pick from. If, like some of the other sides that have 2 or 3 sides going, obviously they've got 60-odd kids to pick from, and in the higher ends, in the 2s and 3s and 1s, it's usually one of their first or second sides, like we played, who did we play last week? St Albans, and that was St Albans 1. Now, if that's St Albans 1, they've actually got most of their top age kids in there, and we're actually dragging kids up from the under 12s now, so it's pretty tough. And a good call. Maybe we are a Division 4 side this year, but anyway, we'll sit where we are. You should always try to play at the highest level you can. That's where you get the best experience, I think.
How have you been going for numbers all year? Has it been a trend where you've had to pull kids up from the under 12s?
Well, yeah, and it was the same last year. But look, yeah, well, we've actually got it. We actually started the year with 2 kids from the under 12, or that are still eligible for under 12s, and I've pulled up nearly most games. I've pulled up little Nathan Love. He's come up. He's played 3 games for me and kicked a goal in each game, so we're pretty happy about that. He's only a little fella, but he didn't play today. But yeah, we do, because they're the future of the club. Hopefully next year we give them a little taste of it, and they'll be the ones to come on and play under 14s next year. So
we've seen something similar today. The under 18 boys running around at the moment. There's a few boys from your side that are out there at the moment too that are showing their wares in the under 18 game.
Yeah, unfortunately our under 18s were short, and the under 18 coach came and spoke to me and said, "Look, can I have 3 of the blokes?" And one of them's my boy, and Toby Manganelli, who had a really good game in the under 14s. And Tom Morrison, the ruckman, the big fella. But they're still all under 14 kids, and they're playing under 18s today. I'm in a bit of trouble with my missus because she didn't want Jack to play, but I overruled her, so that's the way it is.
What sort of things do you work on from this game for the boys? Obviously, you'll take some positives out of it. How do you continue to build on this and hopefully have some success for the rest of the year?
Look, like I said, the last month we've been short, and we've been, but we've been very competitive against a lot of the better sides in our division. So as a group, we are developing, I suppose, because they're all getting game time, and we're not having, I haven't had the luxury of having anybody on the bench, so everybody's out there getting a full game, and I'm starting to see improvement amongst them. So look, my aim is just to see the ones, because obviously we've got 5 or 6 that are really good on ballers and get a lot of the ball, but it's trying to bring along the other ones that have sort of standing back a bit and just seeing them gradually improve and get a feel of the ball, and that's the future,
Obviously only a small country town, but by the sounds of things and by the looks of what we saw out there today, there's a really strong junior program and a really strong junior attitude developing out here at Inverleigh that bodes well for a successful senior side in, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years' time.
Well, look, I was part of Inverleigh Footy Club when we folded in 1996, and at that stage we only had reserves and seniors. We had no juniors whatsoever. So when we reformed in 2002, I jumped on board on the committee, and it was just our plan was to make sure that firstly we have a junior structure in place, because we learnt that if you haven't got juniors, you're on a hiding to nothing. So that's what we set about doing, and we've seen over the years gradual, we've had, I think the last 2 years we had our under 16s playing high up, Division 2. I think they're in Division 2 again this year, so we've got good kids coming through, and unfortunately our under 18s probably pay the penalty a little bit, because the 16 kids have been that good that they bypass the 18s and go straight into our senior side, and we've got 4 kids running around in the seniors today that can still play under 18, so it's good for the club, local kids, and they're playing senior footy out there, and that's what we want to do, build it through our juniors, build the club, yeah.
And if we get one young guy that's setting the example for them, and that a lot of the guys in your team could probably look up to, you can highlight Dean Muir, a guy that's just gone on in leaps and bounds from the Inverleigh Footy Club, and he just continues to do fantastic things in his footy career.
Yeah, there's Dean Muir, and there's also David Peel, who's a first-year under 18, and he's on the Falcons squad. He's played, I think, 2 or 3 games in the Falcons this year, and they're undefeated, so it's a pretty good effort. I'm pretty sure we won't have him next year. I think he'll be playing Falcons all year, but yeah, it's good for the club, yeah.
No, it is, Mick, and it's really good to hear that things are going well out here at Inverleigh. We thank you for your time on the Geelong Junior Football and Netball Show.
This show brought to you by Read the Play, Promoted Trophy and Clothing Company, Kempe International, De Grande Cycle and Sport.